Brought to you by The Bevel. I'm here with Vinny, out down here at BarberCon down in Dallas, Texas, man. We're sitting there talking about franchising. So kind of give me your idea of what you're doing right now with franchising. What are you trying to do right now?
Well, ideally, I'd love to franchise my shops out in California. It's a larger business endeavor than most people really understand. And I think as barbers, it becomes kind of a hurdle to understand business in such a bigger way because we're so used to our clients coming in every half hour, 30 minutes, and that's our business.
Right.
Business is much broader stroke. It's marketing. How much percentage are you willing to give up in order to gain? How much money do you have backstocked? How much capital can you afford to float for how long? Because everybody thinks once I franchise, I'm just good. And matter of fact is that it takes a while to get franchises off the ground. You know, starting one shop in 2009 was insane. When I was 22 years old, I was able to start
22.
this shop in Hollywood. Yep.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's good. But again, it was, I think my youth and my confidence was the biggest thing that worked for me. And now my experience and my age is the biggest thing working against me because I now know what I have to lose.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Don't mean to cut you off. You said confidence. So how, like, somebody up and coming in this industry, I mean, you know, you can, you know, have confidence in one area and not have confidence in another. How did you build that confidence to get to the position that you're at right now today?
My confidence came from genuinely the building of my career and my experience. It was one of those things that I came out very young. It's the only thing I've ever done since high school. So hair is the only thing I've ever done. And I got very lucky in my career to get on stages at 18 years old, to travel the world, to work with the Doves, Well of Vision, Nick Arrojo, all these huge people in cosmetology. And then I decided that cosmetology was a great lane, but I also wanted to include barbering into it. And I met an older barber up in San Francisco who was willing to teach me everything he knew. And I went the old school path, and he made my apprenticeship hard, and he made my experiences hard, and he made me earn it because he saw me as a young kid, which I was. But earning it that way gave me confidence in my skill set. So when I opened up my shop in 2009, I went out and started telling every media outlet in Los Angeles that we were the best there was. We were the best barbershop in the city, come check us out. And they all did, and then they wrote such, and then it became true. So my confidence allowed me to put it out into the universe, and then my work ethic allowed the universe to make it true. And we earned our way up that way. A lot of people talk about pricing, a lot of people talk about charging more for your service, you know, charge more, work less, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in that. I believe in working hard. I stand and grind every day with my people. I stand behind the chair every day. I'm not a platform artist. Yes, I'm on teams. Yes, I travel. I'm here on my days off. This is a Sunday. I go back to work tomorrow. I fly home tonight. Right. And it's one of those things that a lot of people don't understand. They see the internet, and the internet is a beautiful source of marketing, and it's a beautiful, beautiful lie. Because no one's showing you their hard days, no one's showing you their missed bills, no one's showing you what it costs them to go to a show.
Right.
They just show you that they're sitting on a stage. And at the end of the day, sitting on a stage is fine if you have something to say.
Right.
If you're just gonna be there, it doesn't do you anything.
That's true. That's true. You want to have content, you want to be able to inspire, you know, be able to reach the audience and understand your audience that you're talking to. That's really dope, man. What could you give a new and upcoming barber to as far as in like inspiring, like, because this, like I tell my students, I'm a barber instructor as well, Old Time Barber College in Kansas City. But I try to tell them, I'm like, you get out of this industry what you put into it. So what can you add to that, like as far as an inspiring barber? Because, you know, I was in IT for over 20 years and then transitioned over to barbering. So how can you, what kind of nuggets or gems can you drop to an up-and-coming barber that may be on the fence, trying to figure out if this is for him, or maybe not be taking it seriously, those type of things?
This is an all-in or all-out industry. When you have one foot in this industry and one foot in another, you can never build. The only thing that matters is building. The only thing that matters is getting people to come back into your chair day after day, week after week, month after month. And too many people think, oh, it's 6, we're closing, I'm tired. You're not missing out on $40, $50, $60 one time. You're missing on the fact that you have longevity in a relationship. Relationships are what we build. It's not necessarily a clientele. You become part of your people's lives. You become part of your community. You're ingrained in it. And if you do that the right way, then your community will take care of you the way that you take care of it. So when it comes to this, the only way, in my opinion, is hard work, is personalized building of relationships. And you need to drop everything you see on the internet. This right now, if you're watching this, go out and have this conversation in person. Understand it, feel the energy, shake the hands, because the people that want to look like they're giving out things on the internet, and this is not bad talking, I'm just saying that people's perception of who you are is more important than the actual person nowadays, because we've grown so accustomed to seeing things on apps. The world doesn't exist on an app. Yes, you can get famous. Yes, you can get known or notoriety or whatever, but that doesn't translate to monetary gain. That doesn't translate to a career. That doesn't translate to arthritis because you cut so much hair.
Right.
This is a very humble career. This is a very humble trade. We stand and clean people all day long. But our industry is so funny in the respect that we have these, and these are beautiful. Lee does an incredible job at BarberCon, what he does for our community, because he's not a barber. He loves this culture and this community. He's a producer. He's a record producer, and a very successful one. He doesn't have to do this.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know.
They don't.
It was a safe assumption that, somebody in this industry is automatically at some point in time, if not currently, have been in the industry.
He just went to barbershops. He got the culture. He understands what this community represents and what barbers do for their individual communities. I can't tell you how many times I've stood on stages and I ask people, what do you want? And people say, I want to go to LA and I want to be a celebrity barber. Why? There are people in LA doing it. You're not going to come out and take them from those people.
Right.
Be the man in Knoxville, Tennessee. Be the man in Kansas City, Missouri. Be the man or the woman wherever you're at, because that's the community that's going to take care of you. LA doesn't care about you. Yeah. No, but that's the God's honest, is that people forget at the end of the day, we're here to serve our communities. And social media will tell you this big, beautiful lie of how important and impactful this is. Our career is someone else's chore, and people forget about that.
Right.
If something else comes up, they'll cancel a haircut like that. They don't care who you are or what your bills are. So you better work hard, and you better have relationships that sustain other things. People should look forward to coming to you because of the personalized experience that you can give to them. Crafting a haircut to them, giving that relatable experience, shaking their hand, being involved in their lives, understanding their families, talking about their children, their jobs, their stresses. That's what we're here for. And too many people lose that because of the camera and because of a perceived understanding of notoriety or fame. And I don't. One of my favorite quotes was that fame was a byproduct of extreme talent. So people forget that you have to be really good at something to get noticed for it, rather than just being noticed.
I'm glad, I want to circle back right quick about what you said, talk about building relationships. That is a really dope thing. That's another thing that I try to get across to my students. What are some of the important things, dive into some more important things, if you don't mind, about building relationships and how you were able to build relationships with your clientele.
Building relationships is super important because you have to gain a rapport with someone. Our trade is something that breaks the physical barrier almost immediately. We shake someone's hand, we put our hands onto their head, we're touching their hair. So we've broken that physical barrier, and there's an acceptance to that. People are giving you that trust, they're turning that over into your hands. It's really important to gain their trust after the fact too. Be involved in their life. If you go and get an experience where somebody just sits there and you're dead silent, they just cut your hair, that's just a haircut. And that's fine. There's a million haircutters across the world.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But you go back to the person that you felt was cool, that you felt cared about you, that was interested in what you were saying. I don't look like most folks. I got tattoos all over my face and I got gold teeth and such, and I don't have punk rock clientele. I have high industry clientele. Movie producers, music producers, studio heads, actors, rappers. It's not punk rock dudes with face tattoos. So I have to present myself professionally enough to gain the respect of a studio head who then goes back and says, man, my barber's dope. We talked about this. That's the relationship that keeps them coming back, because you can get a great haircut everywhere. I'm not the best barber in the world. There's a million dudes that no one's ever heard of on the internet that are just working in shops around the world that blow all of us out of the water.
Right.
There's a Haitian man that I met once who taught me one of the coolest things that I've still never mastered. He's not on Instagram. He's 79, 80 years old now. No one cares. And he's one of the nastiest barbers I've ever seen. So we get so caught up in, oh, what's your handle? Don't worry about your handle. How are your hands? How are your cuts? How's your rapport? How can you speak to people? It's okay to look this way as long as you present yourself professionally. It's not okay to show up smelling like cigarettes or weed or having a drink at lunch or smacking gum, sagging your pants. These are all things that diminish the value of what we do, and everybody wants to speak so heavily about value and they want to speak about prices. We pocket watch each other. I don't know why. What you make has no bearing on what I make.
Right.
What you do has no bearing on what I do. So we just need to pay attention to ourselves, our client, and our craft.
That's dope, man. I appreciate your time, and
Thank
I
you.
don't want to take out too much of your time. I know you're probably got some things you got to be going on around BarberCon somewhere.
Yes, sir.
But
We're
I
working.
appreciate you taking the time to help me with getting into some content and inspiring other barbers out there to, follow their dreams, pursue the things, like you said, talk about professionalism, hearing it from somebody in the industry that has a level of success that they may be striving for. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. And keep doing it for teaching. Keep teaching. Keep showing people the right way. There's too much misinformation being passed. So if you have a mentor, hold on to him close. DC is one of my mentors. He was the first person who put me onto a stage with Barbering with Andis a lot of years ago. And there's not a show that goes by that I see him that I don't thank him publicly on stage, because he didn't have to stick his neck out, but he did. And I've been on the road with him now 20 years. And 20 years into this career, a piece of it is because of him. So that lineage matters. Your teacher matters. Those people matter. So keep doing it and give people a chance.
All right. Appreciate you, Vinny, man.
Pleasure.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Hell yeah, man.